Hi, this is Debbie at Deb's Scraps. I have a blog. If you would like to see some more great ideas, please go on over there. Today I'm in Kansas. I record most of my videos in Kansas. That's where my inspiration comes. Thought about this idea several months ago. I saw a similar idea and wanted to use it for my son's graduation page. And as you probably figured out, his name is Tim. And we did some other practice sheets on it earlier today, and this is one of them. And it has 2017 and has lots of different media on it. And then my friends Terry and Janine worked on a page. They actually put a page together, and then they cut it apart so that they could make various pages out of it. And hers said soar, and we used a lot of the same, mostly the same things in it. And here's another piece. And so her idea wasn't to use it as a single page, but to cut it apart and use it for several different scrapbook layouts. So we're going to show you how we did this. And this time I'm going to put Tim's first name in it. It's actually going to be the introductory page for his scrapbook album for graduation, his senior year. So we had pieces, chipboard letters, and all but one of them has been put down and with an adhesive. And Terry's going to put down the M. And Tim has finally adhered to the page. Then we're going to add some washers. The washers was Terry's idea. She's awesome that way. And we decided that the best way to put the washers on was with the glue dots. And so they did pretty well on our previous pages. And then we had some plastic nylon that Terry had found previously at a scrapbook store. And it actually had some adhesive on the back of it already. And it's going to add texture, kind of like right there. It added texture underneath the metal tape. And then we also use kind of a real spaced out burlap to create this look right there. And we're putting that on the page. And she just used the adhesive tape for that, to put that on. And so now comes the fun part, and we're going to show you a little bit about that. It's kind of time consuming with the metal tape. The metal tape you get like at a hardware store, Lowe's or Home Depot, and I actually found it in my husband's garage. At first he didn't know I took it. I fessed up and he said I was fine. And so now we're going to put it on. We start off with some bigger pieces, and then as you can see here, we've cut down and just made different layers and do it that way. I find the easiest way is to cut it first and then lay it down. And so then you lay it down and you smooth it. Now one thing, a word of warning, is it can be a little bit sharp, so be careful that you don't cut yourself with the edges. Okay, we're going to sign off here and come back on in a few minutes when we have more done. Alright, so we have finished most of the page. We had used different sizes and shapes of the metal tape. And as you can see, we just have a little bit left to cover. It's so shiny, the light's really hitting it. So Terry's cut off a piece of the metal tape and she's trimming it down. We're just creating lots of different layers. She's gonna put that on, and then after we cover up everything on the page with the metal tape, we actually are using a paintbrush handle to smooth the edges, and then embossing tools to do lots of different, to go around the edges of the word Tim. And she's showing you now, she's just going...
Use your finger too.
Yeah, and you can use your hand and fingers. Like I said, be careful with that tape because you can cut your finger. So these embossing tools I got from Hobby Lobby. Whoops, where are we at? There we are. Hobby Lobby. And have all kinds of different ends you can use. And you can roll them and create the different textures along the edges. And so Terry's using one with a bigger round end on the tip to go around. Whoops, where are you at? There you are. To go around the letters. And I also went around the cards that way on this one. I went with a round tip and around those two, all of that. All right, we'll come back in a few minutes and show you. So we finished with the embossing tools. We have, it's hard to see because it's so shiny, but there's what we use with the embossing tools. Down. And then Tim's name and around him. And I'm putting the picture in this clear, well then we have here, this is where we had the plastic tape. Then down here is the plain silver that I didn't put much effort into because that's where I'm going to put Tim's picture. So now what we do is we add some acrylic paint. This time we're using black. We're mixing it on a plate that I already used some gray on the previous page that I finished. The 2017 tag page. And we just paint it all over the entire taped page. And then after that is through, we wipe it off and it kind of leaves a distressed look. And we finish that up with some ink. And we do the same thing. Terry, she gets to help me and do all the work, and I get the end result on this page. She's so glad I just come once a year. Okay, I'll come back and show you how we wipe it off after we're through painting it all. So here is the finished page with the paint all over, acrylic paint all over it. Now we're going to start the wipe down. And we'll wipe it all down, and it'll basically have a slight change of color, but then around where it says Tim and around the washers and the layers, it will be a little bit darker also. So I'll show you after this process, and then we're going to add the ink to it. Right, so we wiped off the page, the acrylic ink off the page, but you can see it's still just a little bit in the crevices. And now we're going to dab the ink on. And this ink is just called a distress ink. And I got that from Hobby Lobby. It came in a pack of 3 or 4. So.
Any ink will work.
But any kind of ink will work. But that's just what I got. And so she's just dabbing it around. We used a sponge too on the other page, but this worked great, so that's what we're doing with this one. You can see it really show up on the plastic tape. And then once we cover the page, we're going to wipe it off with a paper towel just like we did the paint. And we'll leave some to dry too, so that you'll get that effect, the distressed effect. Okay. And then she's wiping. And I'll come back in a minute and show you what the finished page looks like. When I'm through with this, I'll post this on YouTube, but then I'll also post it on my blog with the finished picture when I'm through, so that you can have the whole effect. All right, we're through now, and We have both pages. They'll be side by side in the scrapbook, and I think it'll look really great with the pictures. But like I said, I'll post it on the blog, www.debscraps.com. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thanks to my friends, and God bless.